Take your event to the next level with Crossroads TV. Professional audio and video production, multi-camera live streaming, audio system for your panels and entertainment, plus stunning video screen production on LED walls. High quality, seamless production, tailored to your needs. Let us bring your vision to life. Contact us today.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I remind everybody to please silence your cell phones. And we're going to start off with some good news. I'd like to congratulate Dr. Townsend on the birth of a granddaughter.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations,
I
Dr.
appreciate
T.
it. Yep, it's very enjoyable. Good way to drop the blood pressure.
Yeah.
Good. Drop the blood pressure.
Okay, first order of business, public announcements. Details may be found at www.fairfieldme.com. The town of Fairfield is hiring. Please visit the website for more information. I know we got a number of openings. Dog licenses are now past due. Any dog registered will be subject to a $25 late fee per dog. Nomination papers for MSAD 49 school board members will be available beginning Monday, March 3rd, 2025 at the town clerk's office. Lawrence Public Library. February is Library Lovers Month. Check out Blind Date with a book, craft kits for kids and adults, and more. New craft kits will be available March 11th. Free tech help from the National Digital Equity Center every fourth Tuesday of the month. And the library's website can be accessed from the town's website. All programs and events are posted on the calendar of events page. You can also find us on Facebook. Public hearings, there are none. Third order of business, public comments. We'll limit the public to 3 minutes. Members of the public may speak to the council or request an opportunity to speak on a specific item that is on the agenda, or may email comments to the council to info@fairfield-me.gov by 4 p.m. day of the meeting. Submitted content may be read aloud at this time. Do we have any members of the public that would like to address the council?
Good evening, Council. Ronald McLagan. Watched the Zoom meeting, last council meeting, and was watching under the fire department looking for new members. It was stated that it was $154,000, I believe, in that area for a new firefighter or paramedic. KVCC offers a basic EMT class. I'm wondering if possibly we could get some more advertisements. I know we advertise right here on this. I think that we need to reach out to more of the public, the surrounding areas, to see if we can get some people that are willing to give up some time. Okay, I know time's valuable. But I've talked to Mr. Leary, and we can do in-house training right at the fire station for get people their basic firefighter training. And KVCC is offering the EMT class. It's very reasonable. I just think that it's something that the town should look into instead of possibly this $154,000 per person. And we need to give more incentives out there for the call firefighters, I believe. I don't know what the incentive is right now. I don't. But for a firefighter to get out of bed and to come to a call in the middle of the night, if we could we find out what the price is for a call firefighter? But for them to come out of bed and go to a house fire or go to an accident or whatever, if they're only getting, say, $20 an hour or whatever, that's just, nowadays, folks, it's not that much money for a call firefighter. So I think stipends, more pay for these call firefighters might be in need. I think putting out something out to the surrounding area public. Benton might have 5 people over there that might be interested in doing change in career, and for us to give some in-house training, and KVCC is offering training also. I just think that's another route for us to look at before we go spending $154,000. That's just my thoughts, guys and women. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Ron.
So I'm going to address that a little bit, Ron, because the last meeting we did discuss absolutely everything you just mentioned. Not only KVCC, but taking advantage of the vocational center at Waterville High School is still offers an EMT training. Talking about the difference in volunteers. Why aren't we getting the volunteers, the call roster? So that's definitely on our radar. The stuff we're discussing is just pulling more information, and the public will be the first to know once we have gathered more of that. I know Matt's been in contact with KVCC as well, maybe some alpha on grants. So it's stuff we'll talk with Michelle, she can translate to Travis. And
Yeah.
It's
I
on our radar. So that 150,000 was based on a paramedic.
Correct.
So,
and the
and
thing about it
it's-
is, not to interrupt, but as far as the contract, it states that a firefighter has to have basic firefighter training and a licensed EMT within the first year. That's what is under the bargaining agreements.
Yep.
So it isn't, we have to have paramedics. We can have basic EMTs, and that has to be done within the first year. And you have to be basic firefighter trained. It doesn't state even in there, you have to be firefighter 1 or firefighter 2. Okay? I mean, I have a full folder here of
Yep.
certs.
We're on the exact same page you are, completely.
Okay.
We even talked about stipends and
Yeah.
what needs to be done, so it's
I
definitely.
just know that they are hurting.
Yeah.
Very, very bad.
Yep.
I don't know what the call members, how many we got, how many are coming. It's just something that, maybe you folks could look into.
Yep.
I know that they are in desperate need, like I've been saying all along. So that's one of the things. Next thing is, I know you're not going to like this, nobody's going to like it. Fairfield Center Fire Station. Okay? I know that you're a resident out that way, Tim. I know that Mr. Townsend's a resident out that way.
Yep.
Peter's out that way.
Yes, sir. Been up there a long time.
And Stephanie, you're out that way, pretty close to Fairfield Center.
Center Road.
So what is the incentive of anything happening with the Fairfield Center Fire Station? Anything?
I don't know, other than fire rating. As an insurance guy, everything's based on fire rating, so it has to do with being in a 5-mile radius. I know Chief Bickford did a fantastic job of getting our rating. They call it a protection class 4. That would be a Chief Leary question.
But I know that it's still on the website, okay, and it's still there. But under certain criterias, isn't the fire station have to have certain apparatus in that station to be considered a active fire station?
I do not know, but we will
It's
ask and find out.
something that I would like the council to find out, because
Okay.
I believe to be an active fire station, it has to have certain apparatus in that station. And if you could,
We'll find out.
I've given you a little stuff.
That's good.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Ron.
Michelle, do we know how much the on-call are getting? I don't off the top of my head.
Chief Leary talked about it in our meeting.
Yeah.
And I just don't have the number in front of me.
Yeah.
And the same with the fire center or in Fairfield Center is the fact that we have the asset, and who knows what will happen the next.
It's around 20. It's slightly
5
less
years.
or slightly more. Yeah.
Yeah, anybody else from the public would like to talk about anything that's not on the agenda? And we can reserve time if there's something on the agenda.
Hi, yes. My name is Heidi Littlefield, and I'm a resident. I live over at the trailer park behind the Purple Cow. And I'm looking for some help, actually. I've called on this. I just got a letter in the mail in early February, and it says I owe taxes from 2023, and I just received a letter in February, and supposedly there's a lien on my mobile home, and no one told me. And now I'm getting charged for taxes from 2023, certified mailings, and the tax lien purpose. And that's because the town was trying to bill someone else for my property. So I bought the mobile home in 21, and it was late 21 and early spring 22, I went in with my bill of sale and gave that to the town. And I filed for a tax exemption for the homestead exemption, which was approved. So that was 22. And I've had the homestead exemption for 22, 24. I'm not sure where the 23 comes in, because I think someone somewhere did not update the records that I owned it. So they tried to get the previous owner of the mobile home park to pay. And when I call on it, I've talked to the clerk, and she says, well, you owe on it, and we're allowing you 3 extra months to pay it, or we're taking your home. I don't think that's right.
I have a couple of questions for that. So in 2021, you moved in, or you retained ownership in 2021, the end of the year, registered it in, I believe it was May of 2022.
I know it was the spring.
And you got the homestead exemption on 22, which was a 0 balance.
Right.
In 2023, you had a $90.31 tax bill.
Which I never received.
So 2023, you rendered a 0 tax bill. 2024, you rendered a 0 tax bill because of the homestead exemption was already in place.
Right.
So I think what she's asking is why and what happened to the 2023 year where she got that bill. And she went into the town office apparently and didn't get any.
No, I was told I'm going to
Clarification.
lose my home if I don't pay it.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's not $91 anymore. It's more than that. And I just got the letter at the beginning of this month.
yeah.
So Michelle, is this just a billing error that we can get to
I
the
have
right channel?
absolutely no idea. It's the first time hearing of it.
No,
So
that's fine. I'm trying to
please come by
give
the town office. We'd be more than happy to go over it with you.
Okay, do you know when? Because I've been told the tax person isn't in until Friday, and should I go on?
So at this point in time, I plan to be in the office tomorrow, but please give a call, make sure we're there. There's also a storm in the morning. And I do have meetings most of the day tomorrow. If not, we definitely could meet up the first part of next week.
Okay, but they told me that the interest is compounding daily.
It is
So-
correct, but if it's an inappropriate bill, interest that compounds daily on an inappropriate bill doesn't exist.
Okay.
Right?
I
So-
appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank
But come
you.
by, we're more than happy to take a look at it.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak? Anybody want to reserve time for later comment? Okay, seeing none, we will move on. Fourth order of business, reports from staff and committees. Town manager report.
All right, so on February 18th, I attended the KV-COG Board of Directors meeting. February 20th, attended the Kennebec Regional Development Authority's General Assembly meeting. Just as a reminder, Council Budget Committee is meeting here this Saturday, March 1st. Also placed in your boxes this week were copies, it was today, copies of information that we received from Delta regarding the 2025-2026 rate, as well as the $1.8 million they'll be receiving in COVID funds. That finally came through. That was placed in your mailboxes. That $1.8 million will have zero impact on our $35 per capita rate for 25-26. And then also just a reminder that February's Meet the Reps event that has been rescheduled to March 11th. That's at Bricks in Waterville at 5:30. We will be posting this as a potential event that could have a majority of counselors for those of you that are thinking about attending. And that's it for me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Committee reports. Councilor Thibodeau.
Yeah. The Economic and Community Development Committee is going to be meeting on Tuesday, March 4th at 3:30. We'll be talking about planning for the public input session, which is scheduled for April 15th. And this is on the downtown, and it's just more of a workshop for us, so we know what the lay of the land will be for that meeting. We'll also be finalizing the Mill Island brochure for publication and beginning discussion on the feasibility of developing or selling the town farm property. Also on the agenda will be discussion on creating a Fairfield event called Fairfield Days. The climate resiliency meeting that was scheduled for last night had to be postponed due to the presenter's illness, and it's now scheduled for March 19th here in Council Chambers at 6 o'clock, and I'm hoping that will be put on our announcements, as well as we'll put ads up on the Crossroads TV, and there'll be a press release as well.
Wednesday night?
It's,
19th,
yes,
yeah.
it's a Wednesday night.
Very good.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Any other committees that have reports?
PFAS, unfortunately, we were probably going not to make quorum due to illness, so we were supposed to have a meeting on the 18th, and we did not have it, but it's been rescheduled for the 4th, so hopefully then we'll have follow-up from there. So the flu bug hit, so anyway.
So PFAS, March 4th?
March 4th.
March 4th.
Yes, sir.
Councilor Lawrence, anything on building committee yet?
I haven't heard anything on that. I know it's on the website, but you have to look for it on the website, and it doesn't have my what I posted, what I put out for what the experience you need. It's just the application. So I'm just wondering any chance to get that experience posted on there too, so the residents will know what to suspect about that committee.
The criteria.
Criteria, yeah.
Okay. Okay, any other committees? Seeing none. Fifth order of business, consent agenda. These items are considered routine or standard business and therefore will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these matters unless a council member requests prior to consideration of this portion of the agenda, in which event the item will be removed in the consent agenda and considered next on the agenda. Item 25-25, ordered that the Fairfield Town Council hereby waives the reading of and accepts the minutes for meeting hashtag 2025-03 held on February 12th, 2025. And item 25-26, ordered that the Town Council hereby approves Treasury Warrant number 105 in the amount of $257,896.22, which include but is not limited to Ranger Construction, motor vehicle fees, MSAD 49, fuel charges, and MMA employee health insurance.
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Sixth order of business, old business. We'll start with the website. Proposals to be discussed under the eighth order of business. I guess we'll deal with that when we get to the eighth order of business. Stabilization of fire department and police department. Any new news on that? Any discussion? Nope. PFA committee report. Committee met on February 4th, 2025. We just heard from Dr. T that they will not be meeting until March 4th.
Correct.
Ambulance purchase negotiations. I believe last meeting, Chief Leary was looking for one and didn't find one that he liked, so.
We still haven't received the price proposal from the one that we looked at. I did follow up with him today. He's been away at training, but he still hasn't received that yet. We're working on it.
Okay. I asked for Fairfield Benton fire agreement. Council was just given that tonight. I'd rather we have an opportunity to look it over and bring it up next meeting, unless somebody would like to discuss it.
And you want that under other council business?
Yes.
Yep.
We did discuss it a couple weeks ago, that we need to take a look at it, and obviously we'll have our manager address it, so.
And I'm not sure if you've had any discussion with the council from Benton, but I think they're open to discussion.
I believe they are, but we haven't been able to line anything up with them yet, so I think putting it on under other council business at your next meeting might be too premature, but we can assess that when that gets here.
Is the intent of that to have Benton's representatives here, or is it just for us to talk about the contract?
I think it's to give us an opportunity to talk about the contract. Benton is capped at 5% in the old contract, or the current contract.
So we don't need them here if
No.
it's just our discussion?
And I think we would direct our town manager to sit down with them and then come back to us. I'd just like to see it a little more equitable for our town. So. All right. Any other discussion on that? Are we good for table that? Yep. Parking on West Street, ordinance amendment process has started. I believe we received that a couple meetings ago.
Yes.
So we're good with that. Community Center grant, no new developments. I just have a question on that grant. I know there's a couple of things that we have to satisfy before we receive the grant.
No.
No?
No.
There was a couple meetings?
We have to, those are a stipulation was that we provide informational sessions on climate resiliency.
Okay.
And we put in for 4. And that's what you're hearing me talk about and doing the
Yep.
planning for. The grant itself is, once we spend money, we submit it at the end, and we will get reimbursed.
Okay, so
And how much
instead
is
of
the
no
grant
new
for?
developments, why don't we spend the money to get the equipment so that we can rent out that kitchen?
Well, what's happening is Michelle's been looking for the equipment. She actually found a better deal, as we've talked about in the past, on the stove. And it's a matter of getting everything all lined up. It takes a while to do that, and I don't have any control over that. That has to come from the town manager. So when she has time, she works on it.
So what's the deal on the stove?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of stove it
Time.
is.
What is it?
Time.
Time.
I need time. I need time to order a stove. Right now, ordering a stove is not the most important thing on my list of things to do.
To you, it's not.
Correct. If it's the most important thing for council for me to do, then you certainly can vote that that be my one and only focus.
That's not being really fair.
That's why it's time. It will happen. It's just there are other things going on right now that are taking more precedence.
We don't have a time frame for getting everything done. I think
We
it
have
was
2
for 2
years
years.
to spend the grant.
Yeah.
So we'll do
So-
that. We have to purchase the equipment. Once we purchase the equipment, we then in turn submit for reimbursement. As long as we have fulfilled all of our obligations for the grant, then we will get reimbursed for those pieces.
So I agree, budget is probably the most important thing right now, and getting ready for town meeting. Is this something that can be delegated to be purchased, because I do think it needs to get done.
Most every employee is currently working with the same exact time constraints. Once we get past budget season, it shouldn't be a problem with
Okay.
getting these pieces ordered.
I think my
It
only
will happen.
Yeah, I think my only thought there is to actually set a date.
Yeah.
So I think that's always good to have like a goal instead of like, yeah, we're going to. And I totally get it, and I don't get me wrong, because I know you're stretched very thin. But I think it's like, okay, we are going to have it in place by July 15th, whatever it is. So we can set a goal to have that done. It's going to be in. And I think that'll be something we can count on. So I think that's helpful even to set that so that the community knows, okay, it's being worked on instead of it's just not a nebulous thing. So, but
Do we want to set a date so we can
Say
take
do
this
it.
part off from old business and we just?
When does the budget
Give
get
it-
ratified?
So old business was designed so that any topic that you have that is currently you're working on is continued to be listed there.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be a list of things that aren't done. It's meant to be a list of projects that are currently working on. But we have lots of projects that we're working on all of the time that take months for us to get through. This list, just like you're adding on the Benton fire contract, could live on here for the next 6 months before you actually renegotiate anything. That's what the old business list was meant to be for. But you certainly could decide to remove it.
I just think if we put a fair, reasonable date, not anything concrete, but to keep tabling and tabling and tabling months and months and months.
This isn't, every one of these items, they're not tabled, they're just meant as a list so that
Oh,
you
and
don't forget what they are and you get updated as to
I
what we're working
understand,
on.
but it's unfinished business that we can take care of. So personally, I'd like to see a date, a reasonable date.
I think probably by September, we should have things ordered by then.
Well, my goal is to have things ordered within the next 30 days.
Right. But to get things
Yeah.
installed, then you're dealing with another section.
No, I understand, but if it gets, at least we get to another agenda and it's going to be ordered by May 1st or.
I say May 25th, we ought to be able to have an idea.
As long as it get through town meeting and budget and be fair to Michelle's time, as
right.
we are short-staffed and thin, I don't want to be concrete on it. Just, I'd like to see some progress.
Yeah.
and the other parts of the community center, the bathroom upgrades and the like.
Those have already been started. Not the upgrades, but the water fountains.
Nice.
The bottle fountains. Those have been ordered, right?
I believe so, I'll have to double check.
Yeah, but-
Hools was working on that.
Yeah.
The hood system has been recertified and inspected. We're working on getting a company to come in and clean it so that that's ready to go. So yeah, there's things that are being done.
That will take time. There's only a couple companies that do those
I'm aware.
Ansel systems.
Yeah.
So, yes. no,
We just got it the hood system inspected 2-3 weeks ago, I think it was. Yeah, took a while.
You know-
And I see the progress.
So actually, so that's good. I mean, so that
Yeah,
is progress.
there is
So
progress
there you go.
being made.
I think we just did it already reported
If
on it.
there was
at
an
another
issue, I'd
meeting.
It's
be
good, but it's, yeah, we can say, yeah.
putting up some smoke signals here. But really, it's going to take time. Michelle is a one-person show for getting things done, and there are some things that take precedence over this, even though we've been talking about it. It took us 3 years to write the grant.
Well,
So,
that's my issue.
but that's why it seems like it's taking a long time. But we are making progress. And it's always, in municipal government, progress is slow. You've got to remember that. Slower than cold molasses. And it's just the way it is. And there's only so much as a committee person that I can do. It's going to fall on Michelle's shoulders to do the ordering, making sure everything's being done for the implementation of the equipment. But it takes time. It does take time.
And I don't wanna-
think, in my opinion, we're doing okay.
I don't want to bog down two things, but I think there are 2 points. One is that this is a grant fund, so there are no tax dollars being spent to
No,
do
there's
this.
no tax dollars.
That's one that should be people should be aware of. And the next one is along that line. It drives home the point of having an administrative assistant would be huge. So
Yes, absolutely, good point.
So can we come up with a date?
I would have to say by the end of the year. And no, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Because if my stoves break, Steph,
Well,
I'm
let
gonna
her
go buy
explain.
one.
No.
Not in 8 months.
Number one, we've gone how many years without a working kitchen now?
But that's
And
the
if
fault
we-
of the council, not a particular
No,
individual.
and I disagree. It has to do with money.
We've had the money in the account for 3 years.
No,
Michelle?
not enough of it.
How much money do we have in this account for this building and the undesignated fund?
Off the top of my head, I can't tell you the
Is
undesignated
it 8
fund.
million
8
in
million?
the undesignated fund?
But you don't just spend undesignated
No.
fund
No,
money
you
on
can
things
vote
that
on
you
it,
want
right?
to. The town would have to vote on that, yes.
And that's using taxpayers'
Yes.
money. This is done through a grant without use of taxpayers' money. If we could get everything done by the end of the year, I think.
I'm
we
not
would
saying
do-
done, I just like to see it get ordered.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
all I want, is
I just want
order.
to see it ordered. June 1st?
That's after.
Ordered.
May, it needs to give it some time, because we've got budget, then we're going to go into town meeting mode, and 2 to 3 weeks? No, maybe by the end of June, everything is ordered, and then by the end of the year, everything is in place. That would be my guess. That is progress, because we are understaffed,
I agree, but
No,
I,
we are understaffed and,
yeah,
you know.
to go and put a date on it in May with everything that's coming up, then you have an election in June as well. I mean, it's not the
I'm
priority.
not asking for it
But
to be
that's-
installed, I just want to see it ordered.
Yeah, if we can just get it ordered, that would be great.
Can you do that, Michelle, do you think, by the 1st of July?
Have it ordered? I would hope so.
Yeah.
That's the
Sir, you
great.
have to come up
He has a
here if you'd
question
like.
about it.
And be recognized by the chair.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Withy. I just wanted to state for the record or anything, if everybody's so tied up and busy and they can't accomplish things, I would like to at least see if there's any sort of way I could offer my services, not even paid, you know, because I definitely have some connections and I'm definitely a resourceful, get it done kind of person. And if getting things done is a bit of an issue, or if things are stacking up faster than they can be accomplished, I could probably help get things accomplished for the town a bit faster. So that's my
appreciate
piece,
it, but-
just offering a volunteer service.
There's an administrative assistant opening, I mean, I don't know what else to say, it's got to go through the town
I'll gladly
manager.
come by and
Thank
fill
you.
that out. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. So, we just want to see it ordered by July 1st. Somebody want to make a motion?
Well, before we do that, what's going to be ordered?
The kitchen equipment.
What's pertaining to that? The stove, the refrigerator?
The
'Cause I want to get this
dishwasher.
really,
The dishwasher, there's tables that are being ordered.
The prep tables.
No,
No?
these tables.
Oh.
We need some new ones.
We've already ordered those.
Oh, those have
That
been
was done with
ordered.
ARPA money.
in
That was
December.
ARPA money.
That was ARPA money.
Right.
Yeah.
What else is there? There's a
Refrigerator, the
Refrigerator,
dishwasher,
dishwasher,
and the
stove,
stove.
the water fountains.
All I'm worried about right now is the
Kitchen.
kitchen.
Bathroom.
Just so that kitchen can be rented, we're losing revenue.
so we're at the kitchen, the stove, refrigerator.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Right.
If you want just the kitchen to be operable, plus the hood needs to be cleaned, it's already been inspected, so there's progress there.
I'm just looking for it to be ordered. That's
Yeah.
it.
Ordered, and then we have to get rid of the old stuff,
That's fine.
and that might take a while.
I still don't hear a motion.
She wants to go. I'd like to see it done by, mid-June, but we'll go July 1st to have all of the appliances ordered for the kitchen.
Sure.
So refrigerator. And, yeah.
Sure, sounds good.
So we have a motion to order the kitchen appliances by July 1st. I have a second. Do we have any other discussion?
I think it's reasonable.
Is that reasonable, Michelle? I know you're stretched.
We'll find out, won't we? I don't see why it's not.
Okay,
Like I said, I hope to have it done within the next month,
that
but
would be fantastic.
you know?
I know where you're at. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. All right, administrative fee schedule. I know we're still working on that. Data collection is in progress. Any discussion on that one? No?
you will be having a change to the rental fees for this building. There'll also probably be a change to the policy. We had to do some research today. We discovered that there is a gentleman from Waterville that has been renting our building and then renting it to other people.
Sublet.
And we don't,
Creative.
we're double checking our policy to see if we have anything that actually
do not.
prevents that. And we didn't think we did.
Can we change that in ordinance, or does it?
It's in the administrative policies, I think,
Okay.
is where renting this facility is located. He was very, very upset because the last time he rented it, the place was trashed. And we didn't return their deposit. We refused to re-rent to him, and he told us today that he wasn't renting the facility, he was renting it for somebody else. So it triggered the fact that we need to adjust that policy.
Okay, thank you.
Just got one question for that, is how much is the community center rental fee?
It's not very much, and it depends on how long you're going to use it. It's all listed right on our website, though. It's there. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head.
I think it's
Any other discussion? Seventh order of business, to take action on the following items of business to be read by council chair. Item 25-27, orders that the Fairfield Town Council hereby approves the manager's reappointment of the local health officer, Nicole Martin, for a 3-year term under MRSA Title 22, subsection 413, parentheses 3.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? I will make that tie-breaking, and 3-2, yes. Eighth order of business, council workshop and other business. Discuss the ninth order of business, executive session placement on the agenda. I believe you guys all have an email. The one you want to move the executive session to the end of.
Yep.
The Councilor Tully has asked if we would look at moving executive session to the beginning of the meeting instead of the end of the meeting. Let you go ahead and address that.
Well, no, I mean, it's been brought to me several times. I mean, just steal that, that letter I wrote.
Oh, the letter.
From what I've been hearing, I mean, it's really about transparency too. So when we go into session, at the end of it, we, come back in the session, we make a vote. Nobody's here to see the vote or witness the vote or get any information on it. And sometimes it takes up to 2 weeks for that to be brought back into the information side of it through the town so that people can see it on the website. And that they just want to be able to see it before it, it gets hidden into the weeds for 2 weeks before they can see it on the website.
One of the things about that is, actually, there's several things, and I'm against moving it to the beginning of the meeting, because, number one, it's going to take up more time. People are going to have to be out in the hallway, sequestered, away from here, so they can't hear anything. And that's going to be a waste of people's time. The other thing is, when we go into executive session, more often than not, we don't always vote on something when we come out. It is something that's done for the privacy of people. and it's done for monetary matters. When we come out to vote, it is recorded. We can tell people what that vote is. We can't go into detail about what was discussed, but we can tell people we voted yea or nay on that particular item. To put it at the beginning, I think would inhibit us from doing the best job that we can do on the other items, because we would be pushed for time, thinking, oh, we've got people out there waiting. I would much prefer to see it at the end of the meeting so that we don't have to feel pressured for time, because we're here to do the best job we can for our citizens. For me, in all the years I've been on the council, again, I can't tell you, more often than not, we don't vote on something. It's just happenstance where you guys are coming on.
It's mostly informational sometimes.
Yeah, it's informational.
Because I know Timmy was on the school board. I know
It's
he
always
used
at
to-
the end.
He used to, one time you had it before.
No, it's always at the end. Oh, I've never been on one that's not at the end.
And just
And
because,
the reason being, it's usually personnel matters, legal matters, like Steph said, information.
Yeah.
I'm totally, same thing. To the best interest of the public, that we conduct our
Yeah.
business in front of them. It has nothing to do with transparency. We come out and do what we're supposed to do. So I'm not in favor of it myself.
and just because it's been held that way doesn't mean it necessarily should be that way. So I think it's good to discuss it and
Yeah.
talk about why we do things the way we do things. I think if you want to, like I said, nobody's forced to leave. So they're welcome to stay outside the community center and wait till the end and ask questions if they have that. They're welcome to call the office first thing in the morning. They're welcome to send emails as soon as possible.
They could call us.
So all those things.
How long our executive sessions last, because we can go hours.
But I do understand where that transparency comes from. But there are times when those executive sessions, while many of them are 15 to 30 minutes, sometimes they've been an hour and a half, 2 hours. And so if we put off for our regular meeting for 2 hours to run it till 8:30, 9 o'clock, people are going to be upset at that point too, going, I had something I wanted to talk about. And so you kind of, darn if you do, darn if you don't. But I understand it, and I think it's good to talk about it. And I think if you don't ask.
A lot, because I didn't know that a lot of it was like that. Yeah.
So are you okay
I'm good.
if we keep it at the end?
Well, no, yeah, I mean, it was just that a lot of people just had a concern that, they didn't really know
It
about.
is.
I think there should be a
And it's good that people have concerns about that, but they can also call a counselor to find out what the vote was.
Yeah, and I think it should be a better way to make sure that information gets relayed. So at least they know, hey, we're going to executive session. Results will be available for you tomorrow by calling the town office. Reach out to your counselor. You're checking out the town website as soon as possible. So, I mean, those
That'd
kind of
work
things.
good, too.
I mean, just so they know, so it isn't forgotten, because sometimes it is. Isn't
Yeah.
until that we move on the agenda the next meeting and accept minutes from that last meeting, and then that gets put into it. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
understandable.
Yeah. So thanks, Matt, for bringing
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah, I learned something, right?
So we're all good on that one? Yep. All right. Item number 2, discuss website proposals. Michelle, do you want to start in on that one? I know.
So the town clerk has been reviewing websites, various different website providers. So you have a packet of information tonight of all the different website companies that she has looked at, received price quotes from, and various different pieces that they offer. So there's a sum up sheet. We did recently also look at another one, Town Cloud, since your packet was put together last week, with their price listing. Obviously, the town clerk can give you much more information on this than I can. But right now, the two of us are stuck between Revise and Civic Plus. Basically, what we are doing is, we haven't put a formal RFP together. We literally have just gone and solicited 2 companies directly, mostly ones that we know that have done websites for various municipalities that they also are happy with. If you look at the price between Revise and Civic Plus, Those are the two big things. So Revise is $12,720 for the one-time startup fee, with an annual maintenance fee with support for $2,750. Civic Plus is a $10,931.55 startup fee. But we would be looking at the annual fee, I believe, of the $5,300. And not going with the app. So they have an app that you can also download, and we would not go with that piece because the service can be provided. We just don't need it, because that would have been an annual fee of $8,600, which was almost the same as the startup fee. So upfront, Revise is more expensive in the first year, but cheaper for the annual maintenance, whereas Civic Plus is cheaper upfront, but more expensive for the annual maintenance. And that's kind of where we're at.
Do we have ARPA money set aside?
We have $10,000 in ARPA money set aside for
Okay.
this, for the startup.
All right. Councilor Thibodeau, please.
So I had some questions. On Munibet, was there a startup cost?
No.
So we're looking at Munibet for a total investment of $279 per month, or $3,348 to be paid annually. And the first 3 months of the agreement is signed within 1 month, then of the demo, then those 3 months are free. What I liked about what I saw was the fact that there's a citizen alert system via email or text, which is so sorely needed for our
And all of
people.
them do offer that, other than Town Cloud and iWorks.
Yeah.
Even with Civic Plus, if we decided not to do the app, the website still supports email and text notifications. The app is kind of like extra. You can do geo-targeting, so if there's like a road closed, we could go in there and map it, and people could open up their phones and see where certain issues are. They can pull up maps. They would also get support from the town on that app, which really isn't needed because the website can do all of that as well.
So I think that the startup costs for Revise and Civic Plus, that's really high.
Yes.
And for me, after reading what was given to us, I really like the Muni bit, especially now that there's no startup cost. So we're looking at an annual cost of $3,348 with the citizen alert system.
I
And
believe they had a website, though, designed that
what was,
did not care for.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look
you
at it
didn't
right
like
now.
their website design?
So I can say that Town Cloud's website design is very, very simple, almost too simple. Munibit, their website to me is also very simple, and it's not visually appealing. I thought it was difficult to navigate to find some things on. Revise and Civic Plus offer certain widgets at the top where you can put important topics or headings. To me, it was just more visually appealing, easier to navigate, and easier for me to go in and do the updating, which right now, it takes me forever to update that website. So anything that would make my life a little bit easier as well would be great. So Revise and Civic Plus definitely were the two most appealing and easy to navigate for me and the public.
I am familiar with the city of Augusta.
Yep.
And their website, and it is easy to navigate.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and to put stuff in at the same time, that,
We don't have City of Augustus on here, though, right?
it is listed
As an
under-
example,
Yeah,
it
it's
is
under
the city of
Civic Plus.
Waterville and city of
Yeah.
So
Augusta.
Civic Plus also does Bangor, Lewiston, Waterville,
Skowhegan.
Skowhegan,
Yeah.
Winthrop.
Yeah.
I love the ease of the use. Again,
Pretty amazing, actually.
We need a new website ASAP. We can't search on ours. It's very hard to navigate. All I care about is that you guys get the website that you want. You've got to run it. It's got to be easy to use. I understand, again, time constraints for both
course.
of you. The money's already put away through opera funds. I'm to the point where if those are the two you like, my suggestion is pick the one you want, and let's get it done.
Yeah, and I'll agree with that, too.
Ease of update is a huge thing, so.
Yeah,
action item
I would
where we
say
can vote
that
on?
I asked both companies what the turnaround time would be. It would involve us doing a lot of website cleanup, so the more information we take over to a new website, the more expensive it would be. So we're looking at probably anywhere from, I think they said from 10 to 18 weeks to get everything over.
It's not bad.
And then have a quick demo with staff and do some training, and then they would go live. So it could take another year, maybe, to get things really going. But if we wanted to do little by little, it would take less time.
Oh, again, I know you're going out.
Yeah.
I know we're stretched thin. But this is something that we need to decide. Again, we're just going to have to be patient. Well, let's get it ordered. We have ARPA funds sitting there that you already voted to use.
Yep.
Give them the tools they need. We can't ask them to do their job if we can't give them the tools they need to do it. So
This has been an issue that has been asked for the last couple of years, and we know it's been something coming. We put the money for it just because it was a major issue for the town. And I have gone, I should check out Winslow's site. That's on me, but definitely Augusta's going ahead and researching that you can really go through and find any meeting you want, any of the, any of these different rules. It's very easy to navigate. So I really liked it as a site.
Michelle, can this be an action item?
You can make a motion on anything during a discussion, yes.
I make a motion that we instruct them to go with Civic Plus.
We gotta put it in action on them next meeting. Since this is in council business, we have to put an action on them.
You don't have to.
No?
No. It's not necessarily something that is urgent, but if you feel that it's urgent, you can certainly do the motion now.
My biggest one would be can you make a decision? I mean, how fast can you make a decision? You're obviously back and forth between Revise and Civic Plus, and it's like, what's that looking like? You go home and flip a coin, or?
I'm good
Motion's still on the
with, I do like Civic
has to go
Plus.
second.
I honestly am good with either one. They both function the same. The ease is the same. It's just the price.
So we have a motion for Civic Plus. We do not have a second. We are discussing, but I would rather wait till next meeting, let you two decide which of those two platforms that you want, come back to us so we can make it an action.
We already know that we both want Civic Plus.
Okay.
Oh, well,
Oh, that makes that's
The
even
reason
easier.
is the fact that the annual fee for Civic Plus is higher than the annual fee for Revise.
Yeah.
That's why.
But it's going to be worth the time.
Hopefully, it would
the
be worth the time
management,
and the money.
And the ease of use for the citizen.
Definitely.
So if that's what they'd like, we have a motion
I'll make
on
a
the
second.
floor. We have a second now. We have a motion to go with Civic Plus for a new website. We have a second. Do we have any further discussion?
Yeah, I mean, look through and compare the ones. There are all the things like we want. The online reservation for the community center would be helpful. All the online payments, again, would be very helpful for us. It is ADA compliant. It was really good on the maintenance of all the meetings and past records. Yeah, I like obviously one of the biggest things that has come up to us several times has been the ability to do emergency notifications. So.
Yep.
And that will be, like I said, by text or email. And the top of it, we do have the availability to put like a banner. So it'll be like in your face,
On the website.
red scrolling banner to show you any alerts that we may post.
right now, do we budget for our social media or anything? Is there, I can't remember.
We currently budget for our website maintenance. It was how much?
$25.
Oh, jeez.
But
$25.
that
Get what you
comes-
pay for.
Yeah, but that just strictly pays for us to be able to use that website. It comes with no technical support.
No maintenance, no nothing.
I, right now, am the tech support for the website.
That company went out of business and
Yeah.
it's gone.
So, yeah, you do get what you pay for, and that's why the website is the way that it is.
I think the ease to integrate departments, committees, everything is available there, that you'll have a lot better control
definitely.
of. And again, I'm not looking for time constraint. I know it's going to take time, but at least if you've made the decision you want Civic Plus,
Yeah.
let's get going on it.
Yeah, well, it is a $2,600 more a
Yeah.
year compared to Revise.
No, yes.
Yeah.
2550.
But
So,
but the initial cost is also that amount less, so.
well, true, and we've got 10,000 set aside.
Yeah.
So we're out of pocket $932 on that, so. But,
I'm good.
Any other discussion?
I'm good.
We have a motion for Civic Plus. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thanks for your time, Brittany.
Yeah, no problem.
It's research.
Okay, discuss letter of DOT regarding traffic issues on the Norwich Walk Road and various intersections. Michelle's got a drafted letter for us, and I think attached to it is also Chief Gould's
yeah,
letter
Yes.
to the state, the Department of Transportation.
yeah. I have a couple questions.
Council Tibble, floor is yours.
Couple quick items here. On the second paragraph, when you're talking about this route, are you referring to the intersections at 23, 104, and 139?
Yes.
Okay, this is not the appropriate word for that. Maybe concerns on these intersections might be better.
Okay.
Okay. Also, in the first paragraph, we need an S on route. See where it says Route 23?
Yep.
What routes?
Yep.
And then in the last paragraph, please contact us. That is too vague. There's 5 of us listed, but do we want to have them contact the town
Town
manager
manager.
instead?
Yes.
So if you could change that, that would be good. And other than that, I'm fine with everything else. Just the teacher in me, I'm sorry.
I was going to go there. but,
Yeah,
you know.
no, it's all right.
What was your first one?
Here, I'll give you mine. I corrected.
Thank you.
And red pen.
We need to get her a red pen.
It's in my pocket.
Yeah, I didn't get the first.
So it is a draft, but if Council Tibbler has revisions, I think we're good to go with it if Michelle's all right with the revision.
I do like what Chief Gould talked about regarding other ideas of rumble strips and the like.
And that was pretty good.
So if you notice, that was done in 2019, and we've never heard anything back from them.
Yeah.
We followed up a couple of times, which is why this draft letter is going directly to the commissioner.
Yeah. Good idea.
And he talks about a block in there. Is that block from Route 104?
He's talking about the 500 block, that's where that address is, 500 Norwich Walk
Oh,
Road,
okay.
in that area. So I think it's got to be that middle road area.
Yeah.
Because I know they've already done a traffic safety study on the 23, 139 cross-section. They already did one of those. There wasn't anything to be done in that area.
Yeah, that was done like 4 years ago,
Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago.
something like that. Yeah.
But at least this way, it'll cause them to pull what those accidents were and see if there was anything that could be done. Yep, we
Fantastic.
can get that fixed.
Do we need a motion to send it, or are we good on the draft?
So if you want to do a motion, or we can bring it back to you as the full draft, and then you can just approve it at the next meeting, it's up to you.
Really, there's very little to be changed
I
on
don't
that.
think we need to bring it back.
No,
Let's
no.
vote on it as revised.
I'll make a motion that we accept the letter with the recommended corrections to be sent to the DOT regarding traffic issues on the Norwich Walk Road and
Second.
various intersections.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Just one question.
Yeah.
Do you want me to leave this as for the ability for you to sign it, and we'll call you when it's done? Or do you want me to just list your name so that nobody needs to sign it, and I can just mail it?
Yeah, I would just list the
I'm
name.
happy with listing.
Just list the names? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay, other council business. Councilor Tibbet.
At the last meeting, you had inquired about the distance between the water main and the Ohio.
I did, yes.
The nice corner. Michelle's, can you bring up that map for me, please? So, this is the report that was done, and we got the map, and I sent Michelle the picture of the map, but this is the real thing. The distance is about 8,000 feet from the end of the water main to the intersection of Route 201
At Nice Corner?
at Nice Corner.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's going to,
I'm working on it. I'm
Okay.
getting it.
So it's a little bit over a mile
Coming.
and a quarter,
Mile and a half.
I didn't
There
do
you
the
go.
5,200.
I just went by the lesson.
Mile and a half, yep.
So if you take a look up there, you'll see where the V is? And this is for all the audience people. So that V on the right leg of that's the Ohio Hill. There's Ohio Hill. You see the 4th dot up.
Red or
There's a
blue?
little solid purple line above that 4th dot up. That's the end of the water main.
Okay.
The dotted lines all the way to Nice Corner, that was the suggested new water line that would be put in to service all those houses. And that is about 8,000 feet.
And that takes us just to the corner of that
Takes
intersection.
to the corner of that intersection, yes.
Any idea how much further to the town farm property?
It goes
Go
right
right
by
by
it.
It goes by it?
It goes
okay.
by it.
All right.
So there actually probably be about 7,000 feet
Yeah.
to the town farm property.
Yeah. The only thing I'm not sure about is the Green Road dump. Because that road above the blue box, that's the Green Road right in there.
Right.
And I'm not quite sure where the Green Road is, the dump is on
Right
that
in
map. Do you know where it is, Michelle?
Right in here. It's where that cluster of blue dots is.
Right
It's right
in there.
around in there.
So, where the transition road is for the town farm, it's further down, I believe. So if you're looking at, there's the intersection. It's a really long, I didn't compare, but it's further down the road on the Green Road, where the town farm access would be.
Farm property is.
Wait, what?
Right. It's,
Town farm property is right here.
It's not on the green.
You see this
Oh.
right here?
yeah,
It's there, it includes this, it includes this.
yeah, there it is.
And it goes all the way down through
Yeah.
to here.
Yeah.
So is there an access to the town farm property on the green road?
There's a road here, some question
Yes.
as to whether or not it has been discontinued.
Right, it hasn't,
And then there's an access point that comes in here from the Green Road.
And I thought also too was a lot of swamp where the road was.
Right.
Where to build up.
Yeah, there's a.
right, and that's what the Economic Committee's going to be
There would
doing,
be a
because we've got the brochure,
culvert that would have to be done.
report.
Okay.
And we'll be taking a look at everything. There are like 4 or 5 vernal pools in that area, and it is considered wetlands. The most habitable part is on the eastern side of the property, according to the report. So, and it could house, and again, we'll talk about it, but the report said, I think it was 56 lots, up to 2 acres each.
Okay.
So, and I might be wrong
Then
on
we
the
had
number.
two, because we had 1 acre and 2 acres.
Right, they had different ones with different scenarios, like if they're going to have sewer, public water, or if they're going to do wells and septic.
Okay.
So everything depended on the facade.
How many acres is that? Does it say on that map?
Not on this one, no, this was the water study.
About 140.
But a
But
lot
out
of
of
it's
that, that's not a
wetland.
lot.
Yeah, but it can't be
Some of it is
6.
Or
Yeah.
use quarter of it.
Yeah. So,
So roughly a little under a mile and a half. Great. Thank
So the
you.
reason for that too the reason why that was important. So right now, the water district lines dead end. So if you notice in the summertime, if you're driving up the Norwich Walk Road and you're heading up the hill over by where Shelley Rudnicki lives, there's water always running down the road. That's because the water district has a spigot over there, and the water has to just run, because in the summertime, in order for the chlorination process to work, and because of the heat, and chlorine breaks down in the heat of the summer, they keep that running so that water from the water district is just running down the street all of the time. Same thing happens in Shawmut. It actually happens in a lot of places throughout the entire water district system. By completing that loop on the Ohio Hill Road, basically what that did is that prevented them from having to drain treated water onto the ground. That was a huge benefit for the water district to create and close that loop, so they no longer had to just spill the water on the ground throughout the summer months. So that's why, even though there weren't a huge amount of population in that area, for fire suppression it was great, but also to close that loop for the water district. That was a huge plus.
To the wood farm on Ohio Hill Road?
So it goes just beyond the entrance to the Green Road now.
Yeah.
And this would have extended it all the way down. And the last hydrant is over next to there. And it would have extended it all the way down.
Okay.
And then brought it back from there to Shawmut, where it already exists. It stops right about where Dirigo Engineering is in that neck. I think it's before that.
Right.
And then there was some conversation at the time when we were looking at all of it about the potential of continuing from that point at Nye's Corner if it went all the way to Sappi, and would Sappi, that private public partnership payment piece. Or KVCC, one or the other. KVCC does have their own internal water system. That could be another place that you could draw from. They just didn't think that they had the capacity to service any more than what they had at the school at the time.
Would there be any benefit for Sappi to tie into that loop? Or do
There
they
absolutely would be.
Do they tie in from Skowhegan now?
No, they don't. They tie in from anybody. So when they were
straight
looking...
to the river.
Right, so when they were looking at the possibility of the dam removal and the lowering of the Kennebec, and what it would have cost them to lower their pipes, it might have been just as feasible to tie in this way. Yeah, so that's the project, part of those conversations.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Wonderful work.
So I also had something else.
Go ahead. Floor's still yours.
The Delta letter that came today. Are we budgeting for the $35 per capita in the budget as
Yes.
of right now? We are,
Yes.
right? And that total cost is what, 269,000 something that we've budgeted for, correct?
Something, yep. I don't know it off the top of my head.
All right. Do we need to have a conversation on this?
Talked about it at budget season, when you discussed the budget already.
Well, right, but, I mean,
I'm gonna stop
at
sharing.
some point,
Yeah, at some point, yes.
Definitely going to be.
yeah, because
Barney, did you want to say something?
I'm done.
No, not now. I think that ties in, so if I'll work my way around.
Yours, Matt.
But I think it ties into just what you're talking about, the letter from Delta. Talks into, I think and it's been discussed tonight and actually been brought up, the fire department staffing. And so I think that's a bigger part of our discussion moving forward. So I think there are a lot of different ways that may make things possible if you look at the cost for Delta. I think they do a great service. Don't get me wrong if they're out there listening. But at the same time, there are things we can do between that and looking at the additional, staffing, and whether we look at schedules, and there's a lot of things we can do that may make things work. So I think people hear it, but I just want to make sure that people do understand that there's a lot going on behind the scenes, trying to make sure that we are able to cover everyone and do our job fiscally. And I think we are actually seeing some positive movement. So I think that's good. I think the same thing goes along the lines of the building committee. So make sure that if you are interested, check out the website and jump on the building committee. There's not a decision that's been made about building a single public safety building or multiple safety buildings, or what the process might be, or renovating other buildings. But I think it's the process we need to start now. Otherwise, in 5 years, when the police station falls in, and then we'll be looking at what do we have to do now. So I think it's trying to be a little bit proactive. for us. And then the last one is I'm looking forward to, even though it might be a long morning, the March 1st meeting, working with the Budget Committee and seeing what we can do to make things work. So, and again, I appreciate the shout out beforehand. So thank you, Tim.
Congratulations. Thank you.
I got something, yeah. I don't know if you got the email too. I got an email from a resident saying we're jumping the gun on the public safety building. Why don't we just look in to get an engineer to come in and say what it costs for renovation of these buildings? And
Because, like with T.H. Hafford.
right.
Yeah.
I get that email. Like that assessment committee went out, gave each building a rating. So I thought I'd just bring that up because we have a resident asking, we're jumping the gun, why don't we get an engineer in, things like that? Or is it long gone by that? Because if we get engineer in, we just cost money there rather than just look at trying to get the access to new buildings, so.
So just to reiterate on that, last meeting, we discussed a lot
Right.
about being proactive, and I mentioned that a commercial building on average is going to be built for 50 to 60 years. That they're just used differently than our homes are. Four Seasons in Maine, it's just a different animal. Trying to be proactive, so like Dr. Townsend said, in case something were to collapse, you know, are we already in the planning phases of it, or
Yeah,
do we wait until something happens? So
Right.
you had the building committee report that you did a fantastic job on last year. We've got the fire department audit and things that just need to be addressed. So it's just more council trying to be proactive on what do we need? Are we addressing it? Are we looking at staffing issues? How do we pay for it once the issue is addressed? It's not something that we're looking to do tomorrow. These are 3, 5, and 10-year plans, and even 50-year plans, because they weren't done 50 years prior to this. So we don't stick the next generation with the problems we may face tomorrow. So when we discuss these things, it's just being proactive. When that committee, that building committee meets, it's important to have the right individuals on that. I'm not a building person, so we have to take into account the professionals we can trust, rely on these committees, and go from there. And that's why it's important to have that second building committee.
Just want to remind you that the council did have engineers go in and assess the fire station. We do have that report, and that is available.
Geoengineering, yep.
That was part of that
Here
building
we go,
committee
and
report.
Summit Geotechnical went in and did all of that. That wasn't actually, that came as a result of the audit, but that was done.
And also the police station gets looked at, too.
They were looked at by the same exact folks, and they have annual monitoring, just as I'm sure we will still do another measurement with the fire department annually as well, just to make sure that what we're checking for is how it is sinking. Is it still actively sinking, or has it just sunk and this is where it's at? The police department, we do know, is still actively moving. We haven't done a follow-up check on the fire department to see if that's still actively moving or if it's where it's at.
And so not to panic our public, Chief Gould was here last meeting. He let us know he already has an action plan in place and ready. It would be this building. So if the worst of the worst happens, they already have a plan in place. It's not going to destroy us instantly. So no fear. It's just, again, being proactive.
I thought I'd just bring that up because I received the email, so.
Yep. And during the November election, I'll reiterate again, they invited everybody to go in and tour that building. And I don't know if anybody or very few did. So it's been an ongoing issue. We discuss it, but I think it's very important for us to be proactive. So that's what we're doing at this point. You have anything to add? Any other council business? No, we're good. Okay. The next regular meeting of the Fairfield Town Council will be Wednesday, March 12th, 2025, to be held as a hybrid meeting in council chambers and via Zoom at 6:30 PM. At this time, we will recess so the council can sign documents, signatures, and then we'll go into executive session.
Thank you for coming, everybody.
Make a motion before recess.
Motion to recess.
Yeah, second.
Thank you.